This is a Saturday Morning TVLog from Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Welcome to another Saturday Morning TVLog, and this time around it's Paddington Bear, brought to us by Hanna-Barbera and Central Independent Television. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. I'm Noel, the Big D to you. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So this week's Saturday Morning TVLog is Paddington Bear, a fun-filled animated series based on the series of stories written by Michael Bond. Produced by Hanna-Barbera along with Central Independent Television, in this series, a new character, an American boy named David, who is cousins to the Brown children, Jonathan and Judy, arrives in London the same day as Paddington was added to these stories. The series originally premiered as part of the syndicated block The Funtastic World of Hanna-Barbera in late 1989. Now, apparently, this is a very fun show. Now, this was the first year I ever got to see this, since unfortunately I never got to see the Fantastic World since its debut back in 1985. Anyway, of course, if you all know the stories, then you should know Paddington very well. Paddington, who of course comes from darkest Peru, it has now arrived in jolly old London, England. And there he befriends the Brown family when he meets, well, the patriarch, Henry, and his wife, Mary. Anyway, now they're waiting for their nephew from America, David Russell, to come and visit. And soon they find him and thus bring him home. And there gets to meet their other kids, Jonathan and Judy, as well as their housekeeper, Mrs. Bird. And once there, the fun really begins. Paddington does a lot of fun things. Each week, he goes through all sorts of fun-filled stuff, but sometimes does get into trouble like you can imagine, just like in the books. Now, of course, he always brings along his supply of marmalade because bears like marmalade. If you recall, if you've read the books or maybe seen the earlier series, because this wasn't Paddington's first series, because he actually had a series that came out back in the mid 70s. It was simply titled Paddington, and then later The Adventures of Paddington. And but of course, that had some animated characters, but Paddington was a stop motion puppet of a teddy bear they used. This is first traditionally animated series. Anyway, Paddington is always getting into such trouble, but he manages to make up for it when, with the Brown family. But especially, he always has to get in some fun stuff and enjoy going on adventures with Mr. Gruber, the owner of an antique shop, who of course calls him Mr. Brown. But of course, he also has a little bit of runs in with the Browns' next door neighbor, the nasty Mr. Curry. Boy, really is too thrilled, especially with what he does, if you've read the books or what have you. Anyway, I think this show is such a fun-filled show. I had not seen this show in a long time. This series only lasted for a single season for an overall total of 13 episodes. It ended in January in 1990, but it continued to be rerun. After that, it was never seen again. It rarely got shown. I'm not sure if it ever had its series air completely. I did, because Cartoon Network did air re-air one episode when I first started watching them, and that was actually a Christmas-themed episode. Yes, and that was episode number 7, The Ghost of Christmas Paddington. And that, of course, was pretty good. I hadn't seen that in a long time. It had some pretty special episodes, especially the episode that came before the Christmas episode, Paddington Meets the Queen, where he gets to meet Queen Elizabeth II. I remember that episode. But apparently, well, he's always missing his Aunt Lucy, who's now in the home for retired bears in Peru. But anyway, Paddington will surely have lots of fun. Also, especially, he'll do his heart stare because, well, once he gives his heart stare, we see kind of like a little rainbow blast or something like that. And then so that's when everybody gets to change their minds and stuff, and all that jazz. I think you know that story too, okay? Overall, I feel like this is easily one of the most underrated tunes Hanna-Barbera has ever given to us. Now, I think I seem to have seen this, but I could be wrong. It seems Discovery Family Channel actually aired this show for the first time in a long time. I don't know when, but I think it's been like a few years back. But or maybe it was one of their international, their overseas channels. But I could be wrong though. I don't think Discovery Family's well, it's got overseas channels just here in the U.S. Oh well, just don't correct me, but I'm pretty sure because I saw someone on YouTube post a vid of a clip they show from an actual airing on Discovery Family, so I think it's possible that this had marked the show's first time to be shown on TV in a long, long time. For years, it was never seen anymore, not even on Boomerang. In 2020, just about a few years after Warner Brothers had gotten the rights to release the second live-action film, Paddington 2, the series got released on DVD for the first time from the Warner Archive. You can find it at a factually okay price. Not really a great price for the whole 13 episodes, though, but nevertheless, I found out it was pretty good. There are some episodes on YouTube, not much though. The only episodes that are available are one of them is from an old British, I think it's a British video or something, containing the first two episodes. Please look after this bear and calling Dr. Paddington. Unfortunately, it does not contain the show's actual intro and closing. However, I did find another episode on YouTube that I was not aware of that does have the show's intro and closing. And that episode was, let me see, episode number 9, Goings On at number 32. Anyway, I really think the Hanna-Barbera Paddington Bear series, I think this is probably one show I don't think anybody would remember. Now, I do know there's another video from the same company that actually did release the two episodes I mentioned before together. And that can be found in the Internet Archive. And those episodes were, let me see. Episode number 3, Curtain Call for Paddington, and episode 4, Paddington's Sticky Situation. So, so you may want to go there if you want to see more Paddington Bear from Hanna-Barbera. I think you'll really like it if you give it a shot. Anywho, if I can, if you give me a minute, let me give you a look at some of the stuff I can find from this show. Here's a shot from the very first episode where Mr. and Mrs. Brown encounter Paddington at Paddington Station. Now here's a picture here of the whole cast. See the old lady, Mrs. Bird, and right there with Mr. and Mrs. Brown are kids. Jonathan, Julie, and the one that's on one knee is, of course, David. And of course, we see Paddington himself, his duffel coat and red hat. Of course, he was wearing his red hat at the very beginning of the series, as a matter of fact. You already know that, I hope. Now, actually, that was, well, the same kind of picture they used for the cover art for the actual DVD release, as a matter of fact. So, if you liked Paddington Bear from a long time ago, then I think this is a series, I think you'll really like it. I'd only recommend this to you if you are a big fan of Paddington Bear. I mean, while I may not have read the books though, but I do remember the 1970s series with the stop motion puppet teddy bear of Paddington, which was really good and a classic that I used to watch on Nickelodeon's Pinwheel and USA's Calliope. Anyway, this is worth looking into. The show also got shown on ITV in the UK, since of course Paddington was well created in England. Now, for our voice acting cast, we have Charlie Adler, who recently voiced various characters in Filmation's last series, Brave Star, voicing the titular character of Paddington. Voicing Mrs. Bird is Georgia Brown, who was a late great English singer and actress. Of course, she's done several songs and has appeared in several movies, but most of them I'm afraid I am not too familiar with, to be honest. Sorry. Voicing Mr. Gruber is Hamilton Camp, who is certainly no stranger to working on Hanna-Barbera shows. He's done numerous ones. Voicing Mr. Brown is John Standing, who does a pretty good job. B.J. Ward, who is also certainly no stranger to doing voice acting at Hanna-Barbera, voices Mrs. Brown. For the kids, Cody Everett voices Jonathan, Kate Johnston voices Judy, and R.J. Williams voices David. And actually, as a matter of fact, he, of course, was a former child actor. He had actually, when he was a child actor, he actually appeared in episodes of General Hospital and Magnum PI. He also did appear in Punky Brewster, Full House, and Star Trek The Next Generation. He also recently did the voice of Kissy Fur, which of course another Beartoon from a few years prior. After this he will go on to voice Kit Cloudkicker on Tailspin and as Kevin in the final season of Disney's Adventures of the Gummy Bears. And finally, Mr. Curry was voiced by, can you believe it, an actual Curry himself. Tim Curry, that is. Yes, you heard me correctly. You know him of the Rocky Horror Picture Show fame and lots of other films and movies. And of course, after this, he did Pennywise in the It miniseries. And of course, Concierge and Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, etc., 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 etc. You know the rest. Whew. But this is but again, as I've said before, if you are a big Paddington Bear fan and you never knew that this show ever existed, then I would recommend you look into this. I'm sure you've seen the other series that came after this, like The Adventures of Paddington Bear, which came on HBO, if I am not mistaken. I'm pretty sure yeah. And of course, The Adventures of Paddington, which was recently done by Nickelodeon. Then I'd say I would recommend you give Paddington Bear from Hanna-Barbera a shot. I think you'll like it. If you have seen the Paddington Bear animated series from Hanna-Barbera, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below what you thought about it. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel. Make it grow, make the views grow. Tell all your friends about my channel. Get them to know me. Maybe they'd like to be a part of my Big D Nation. Share my vids with your friends if you'd like. Please stand by. Okay, that's going to do it for this video. Now, I had planned to go and see Paddington in Peru. We'll see what happens. If something goes wrong, I'll put something else up in its place until I can get a chance to go see it, okay? But if so, stay tuned for a review of that, as well as an out-of-theater reaction. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, you may want to check out my reviews for these other very good tunes. You know what I'm saying? In the upper left-hand corner is the Saturday Morning TVLog I did on Kissy Fur. The upper right-hand corner is the Saturday Morning TVLog I did on the Care Bears, classic series itself. Or if you'd like more Paddington, check out my review of the one that started all Paddington, the live-action film from 2014. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., as well as the Saturday Morning TVLog, then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching, and next week's Saturday Morning TVLog is Sea Bear, and Jamal. So until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.